Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Optiverse. This is the premiere episode of the Guardian Allies, our World War II show. And I'm gonna go over here and mute myself so that I don't get a big echo like I was just getting. But hey, welcome back. We're totally professional here. I am Opti, this is the Optiverse, and I am going to get out of here as soon as I intro the show. So, 1,000 years from now, the Star Patrol is the force of good throughout the galaxy and beyond. Their heroism is renowned across myriad worlds, and tales of Golden Age heroes inspire them. But now, one of their own, called Neverman, had gone back in time, and so 3 of those Star Patrollers came back during the Killing Time crossover, and they rescued time. But then they went back to, they tried to go back to their own time, and a mysterious Taro decided to send them back in time instead, and those 3 Star Patrollers ended up in the World War II era. And we don't know what's happened to them since then, but we're about to find out. So thanks for tuning in. Scrimmerva is our new GM. Did I say that right, Scrim?
Scrimmerva, yeah,
Scrimmerva?
there you go.
Okay, so I just like to say Scrim. So Scrim is going to take over for us right now, and she's the GM, and we have a whole new cast for you. We're going to take this over for 4 episodes, and then we've got some really, really cool stuff coming in November with another Optiverse crossover. So I'm going to take off, and you guys have a great time with Guardian Allies.
Thanks, Opti. Okay, we're going to jump right into it. I want to get started by just meeting our players and give us the name of the character you'll be playing. You will get an opportunity to introduce their look and their powers very soon. So let's start with Allie.
Hey! All right, that's me. Hi, I'm Allison, and I'm playing Paladin. Is that all you need from me right now?
That works for me. Anything else you want?
No.
You want the crowd to know?
Not really. Just yeah.
Okie doke. Awesome. Jules.
Hey guys, I'm Jules. I'm going to be playing Amethyst Ace. Yes, the cap is in character.
It looks fabulous. You all are rocking it. Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin Zarnicki, and today I'll be playing the part of Killian Merchant, but his special superhero handle is Taro. As for personal notes, fuck Nazis, past, present, and future, fiction and fact.
Yes.
James.
I'm James, and I'm going to be playing Blackjack.
Okie doke. So we are going to open up on the coast of the UK. We see an older man. His name is Sergeant O'Leary, and he wipes salt water from his graying beard, leans forward, and adds fuel to a massive lamp. Wisps of smoke curl above the flame as it licks up the new fuel greedily. The mirror spins, illuminating the dark, turbid waters below with flashes of bright yellow light. Flash, flash, flash over the white caps, and O'Leary leans back in his chair, lighting a cigarette. The glowing ember reflects in his pale blue eyes as he takes a drag, and he exhales, savoring the smooth sensation as the smoke dissipates in the air. Flash, nothing. Flash. White caps. Flash. The silhouette of a ship bearing Allied colors appears on the water, moving too fast, bearing for the rocks below. O'Leary shouts and rushes for the horn. He pulls the string in 3 long blasts. Brrr, flash. The ship approaches. Brrr, flash. Its speed doesn't change. Brrr, flash. It tilts into the rocks with a scream of twisting metal unslowed by O'Leary's loud protests. He shouts a loud curse and snatches up a flashlight, thundering down the stairs. He rushes below, calling out, "Are you all right? Are you in distress?" No response. He hops the rail and staggers on the tilted deck, rushing for the control room. He slams his shoulder against the door, calling out, "It's okay, you're on Allied territory. We'll get you to safety." He slams open the door, and the frame closes in on his eyes, widening with fear. He drops the flashlight and turns to run. The flashlight bumps against the booted feet of the ship's captain, illuminating his slack hand stained and dripping dark red. It continues down the sloped deck, stopping against the stomach of the collapsed officer and flashing upward, lighting up a message written on the cabin windows in blood red paint. Hilf mir is the message that you see written there. We flip the page and we see our heroes on a sandy beach fighting a massive, bulbous, squid-like creature. And so this, if you can imagine a 2-page spread, we see this giant squid, tentacles flashing suction cups. You've got splashes all around. And the 4 of you are fighting this thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll for initiative. So go ahead and do that. And then once you have your initiative roll, we'll go in order, and I want you to describe what you are doing in this fight. It looks like you've been fighting this giant squid creature for a while. So I want you to describe what it looks like. Are you flying above? Are you shooting lasers? Are you, and give us a sense of what your character looks like, what we see as the reader of this comic book. So, yeah.
All right, let's roll. All right.
Okie doke. All right, 18 for Amethyst. We got 7 for Paladin.
Oh. I still don't know how to use these macros.
All good. We'll figure it out.
Roll20 is certainly a tool.
Okay, so Blackjack, you have a 24 or 20?
I've got a 20.
Okay. And then Taro has 24?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's start out with Taro. What do we see, and what is Taro doing?
Taro is a 13, maybe 14-year-old kid hiding behind a nearby rock. You said it's a rocky UK shore, right? So he's taken some cover and is not engaged in the melee. Instead, he's got a little radio nearby him and is peeking over, watching the battle and calling out shots as best he can to the rest of the team.
You're gonna want to turn left rather than right. That's nope. I know exactly what you're thinking. Don't do that. You gotta turn around. You gotta go. Nope. Go under it. You gotta shoot it in the eyes. You know. Shoot it in the eye. Shoot it in the mouth. Shoot it in its cloaca.
And who specifically are you shouting these orders to?
He's like shouting out to everybody, just like rapid fire. This person, that person, but I don't want to step on anybody's introductions.
Okay, for sure. I think we'll. Are you going to roll anything? Are you doing any kind of attack or action? Roll.
Let's say that I am using setup, so I can add to somebody else's cool thing.
Cool.
So,
perfect.
Yes, I am using setup, which I have completely forgotten how it works. So if I recall correctly, it's like I give a +2 to whoever goes next. We'll say.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right, Blackjack, what are you doing?
Well, being that I am more the protector type, I am figuring out, I think Paladin is the one who is our ranged fighter, correct?
I believe so, unless anybody else has a firearm. Whatever.
All right, then what I am doing is I am creating a protection shield around Paladin and anyone else that is standing back doing any kind of ranged attacks.
Okay, awesome. And what do we see? What does Blackjack look like?
Blackjack is your standard all-American superhero. Kind of looks a little bit like Captain America, but a little bit scragglier. He's got a 5 o'clock shadow going on and just has the rugged good looks of a World War II commando. He wears standard army fatigues, a kind of a dome helmet where 2 playing cards can be seen. The Ace of Spades and the King of Spades. And the shield that he creates has a purple hue to it. And yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, Amethyst Ace. What do we see and what are you doing?
Actually, a good question. Let me think. I'd probably be hovering above it, out of the range of its long, wavy arm things, and it's just like, arm comes up to hit somebody. I'm like, oh no, graviton.
I lost audio on Jules. Are you guys hearing her?
Oh, sorry about that.
Graviton.
Graviton cuffs.
Awesome.
So every time an arm comes up, it's like, no, as he's calling out, no, it's arm from the left. I'm like, oh crap, smushing it down using a gravity push.
Okay, awesome. And last but not least, Paladin.
Hi.
You've got the shimmering shield around you. What do you look like? Oh, we didn't get a description of Amethyst Ace.
Not a problem. Ace she's actually look like she's wearing a flight suit. It has like a bajillion and one pockets on it. She's got hanging off her hip. She's got like, it looks like keys plus a couple of other little cool stuff on that. And she's just kind of like flying in there. But as she moves certain things, like her whole outfit will change different colors, kind of blending her into the background.
Nice.
So if you look up from the ground, you'd kind of like, oh, it's Starry Night.
Awesome.
Her hair is completely white, except she has this one huge shock of purple going through the front.
Perfect. Okay, Paladin.
All right. So Paladin is mostly using a what looks to be a slightly modified Browning M2, kind of sticking out the shield and just going through belts and belts of ammunition, just trying to empty it into this thing. Occasionally, some kind of racks of what appear to be British PIAT anti-tank grenades will pop out and just kind of go pachoo. It's like 8 of them at once, just trying to knock this thing over.
World War II Macross Missile Massacre.
Basically.
Except they all go pachoo.
Yeah, it's just kind of a boom.
Nice.
You just kind of hear just these big boom, like somebody just smacked 1,000 ketchup bottles.
That's such a good.
Everybody, that's the one to beat. That's the descriptor to beat.
Smacking 1,000 ketchup bottles. Yeah, like the comic book sound effect is just this thunderous boom. But yeah, it's just just emptying belts upon belts of ammunition. Paladin is in a very heavy suit of power armor. In contrast to her killing time appearance, it is no longer sleek, skin tight affair. It is big, it is chunky, it is literally built like a tank. This thing uses chunks of armor from destroyed King Tigers and a few scrapped Shermans. She's not going light on the armor this time around.
Very cool.
There's just a couple like just lights here and there. Most of them are out of sight for obvious reasons, but yes.
So we've got kind of an Iron Man look to Paladin.
Like, if Iron Man was chunkier,
okay,
and also had taken the Hippocratic Oath, that's Paladin.
A little more Ironmonger then?
I don't know.
Perfect. Okay, so this squid is on its last legs. It makes one last desperate final attempt to wrap its tentacles around you, but Ace just knocks it out of the way. And you manage to subdue it. It sort of shrivels down into a human. And you see running along the beach a squad of soldiers comes up to this newly shriveled form of techno squid, and they put on like what looks like high tech cuffs on this guy, and kind of like give you a nod. And a couple of them are looking at the four of you, starstruck. They're just, one of them sort of just stares at Ace for a minute, and it's just sort of like, and then before his buddy like slaps him on the arm, and then they run off with this squid villain. Yeah, so this team, the Guardian Allies, you've been together for a little while. You have been taking care of some of the many villains that, for some reason, appear to have appeared in this time period. It is April 8th, 1940, and you see in the distance there is a ship that is waiting for you to finish off the squid. And you have a few minutes before you have to head back for your next orders. What do you do?
So this thing is like down, dead, and gone?
Did it? Yeah, you got it. It's taken into custody. The military police came and took them.
All right. Taro stands up from behind the rock. Well, that went great, didn't it?
A lot better than I thought it would.
Right there, my friend.
It's about as well as an encounter with a, well, she stops for a second, takes off her helmet, and just, squid thing?
It's a giant squid.
I guess.
But it's not an octopus.
It's, I mean, yes, clearly it's not an octopus. But
we could have reasoned with an octopus.
Actually, he's
squids,
right.
you can't
He's
reason
right.
with them.
No, squid are just bastards.
squid?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen octopus crawl out of tanks before.
Yeah, octopi are terrible smart.
They're
And squibbly.
Yep. So, who wants seafood?
I don't think I'm going to be in the mood for calamari today, even if there's even a place to get it around here.
Taro's radio crackles to life, and you hear the voice of your field commander, Anna Cousteau, and she says, "We're sending someone out for you. Hop in." And you see a small lifeboat coming from the ship out on the water.
No rest for the wicked or the virtuous. Slosh, 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 slosh.
Sometimes I'm lucky I can fly. I'm looking down at those guys, I'm like frickin' penguins.
Compared to Taro's little sloshing, it's just waves, boom, boom, and it's just like, watch out, coming through. Before oh wait, this thing floats.
I don't think that'll fit in the boat. You'll sink us all.
How much does Paladin's armor weigh?
Considering it's made out of materials of the day, I mean, you could easily fit something like, they ship tanks on boats, and she's only weighs about as much at maybe half to 3/4 of said tank. She doesn't have the engine, which is the heavy part.
Oh, only 3/4 of a tank.
Has been made to be reinforced so that Paladin can go on it, but it's still, you're still straining it to its limits. Like it's a little like rowboat, so you go in and you've got just a couple inches of clearance above the water. Nobody can really move too much.
I love how they knew I was out here and still sent a rowboat.
So it sounds to me like we're gonna have to I say we. I'm gonna have to be the one rowing.
I mean, I will row. I've got big hydraulic arm.
Boy's got a telekinetic pontoon boat in his brain. He can just.
So I was about to say, I'll do the rowing. I'll just use move object. That's why I was asking how heavy Paladin's armor was.
Oh, I love having superheroes. Yeah,
remember,
so you're gonna.
It's not the oar that rows, but your mind. There is no oar.
Become one with the boat.
Are you going to move it telekinetically, Blackjack?
Yeah.
Is that one of you? Is that in your skill set?
Yes, it is.
All right. So the poor sailor who is definitely a low level scrub that got sent out on this errand. He looks at Paladin, looks at the oars, and starts to try to like, ugh! and then Blackjack. How do you save his ass?
I look at him for just a minute. I reach up and I pat him on the back and I say, "At ease, soldier. I got this." And a field of purple energy comes underneath the bottom of the boat and turns it and moves it towards the ship.
He he holds onto one of the oars like for dear life and goes and looks totally terrified as you speed toward the main ship. And Ace flies over and meets you there.
Absolutely, because it's like yes, I will get in a boat if I can relax. But I'm looking at that, I'm like, I can be some kind of a sadist, but that's only to Nazis and fascists and anyone that changed any of these settings in my plane.
Same
thing.
That is such a power move to just like you're like, on that boat, okay, fly.
Big
All right,
howitzer energy.
You head into the boat. You climb up. Again, it's a bit hairy with Paladin's armor, even in this larger ship. But you make it up onto the deck, where Anna Cousteau is standing in her soldier's uniform, Navy uniform, and she says, "Congratulations, everyone! You've done very well. I wasn't. That got a little hairy at the end there, but it was a good thing you went for the eyes."
Well, they were big enough.
Yes, just the eyes. She looks at Taro, just.
The cloaca was an acceptable answer as well.
Yes, well, we're all glad it didn't come to that. Now, I hate to put a damper on your victory, but I've got a message. And she pulls out a printed radio teletype sheet that has some kind of transmission has come through, and she says, "Your next stop is further south. We're going to be heading to a small town called," and she looks at it, Old Hunstanton. Never heard of it. Anyway, northeast of London. We're going to be heading around. Should take us a good portion of the day, but you'll at least have some time to relax a little bit before you are engaging on the next thing. It's something weird this time.
As if the giant squid wasn't weird enough, or wasn't weird at all.
She laughs and says, "That's fair. Yep, that's fair. I think I haven't quite gotten used to. Yeah, that's fair."
I mean,
so it is early in the morning. I think I said April 8th earlier, but I actually meant April 9th. It's early in the morning, and you set sail for Old Hunstanton. Sounds like a real charming place. What's do any of you have like a post-battle ritual or?
I mean, it's hanging up the armor, getting out, and then you see Paladin's not actually very big. She's about 5'6", very painfully average looking, but she immediately sets to work maintaining the armor. Greasing the joints. Checking under the plates for any like saltwater damage or anything, because they're stomping around in the water and stuff, trying to get the sand out of that one right joint, but it just won't come out. So great, we got to take it apart now.
Yeah, me, lean back, pop a cigarette, and I pull up a little device that's hanging off the keychain, which is it's a It's a mini computer from the future that's actually pulling in all EM spectra data that I collect and put it down. I just started looking through it. I'm like, interesting. Okay. Smoking and just like relaxing back. Like, yeah.
So what kind of data is Ace looking for?
Well, she's a astronomer, astrophysicist.
Okay.
So what she does is she starts pulling in like any readings because she can see in the entire EM spectrum. And during this time, she knows that the U.S. was working on certain things. She's also using that to find out what communication intercepts were going. It's like, okay, it's like, all right, if stuff's coming from the ocean, it's hitting this relay tower and it changes relay tower. Eventually we might be able to triangulate that. That might give us at least areas to avoid because of, submarines and stuff like that. It's like,
so mainly monitoring communications?
Nope, not communications, location and telemetry.
Okay. Very cool. I think that do you have, is this a power? This require
yes, it is, and it's always on. It is, she's got a spectral vision, visually analyze and understand every EM spectra.
Okay.
And I can see in the full EM spectra and vision, infrared, radio, visual, X-ray, going up to gamma.
Okay, I think I want you to make a roll for me. I want to see what you catch if you see any anomalies here. So that I believe it'd just be the bonus of whatever tier your power is in, D10 plus that tier. Is that correct? I will take your silence as a yes.
Whatever keeps us moving.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just go ahead and
no, sorry, it wasn't that. It's my keyboard cut off.
That's okay. No sweat. The rest of you are listening to the relaxing sounds of the ocean. Why don't we check in with Blackjack and Taro, and we'll resolve your role in a minute here, Ace.
Well, Blackjack typically after things like this goes down to the crew mess and enjoys whatever slop they're offering down there, and eats as much of it as he possibly can for his 6'6", 280 frame.
Jesus. I think you get some looks when you do this, and in part it's fear, and in part it's irritation. Like you're eating their food, and they've all been heavily rationed over the last year, and they may be resented, but would never ever approach you about this. So you kind of have a table to yourself, and the rest of the crew is like,
yeah, and it's very obvious that Blackjack is kind of flippant with his powers. In order to reach things across the table from him, he uses his move object to grab it for him, and he doesn't show the respect that I'm sure some heroes do for the powers that they're given.
Fair enough. And Taro.
Taro's plan is remarkably similar. He goes to the mess as well and eats as much as he can as a 5'4" war orphan who is just all skin and bones. He's a growing boy with a mighty appetite. What's more, using his powers always gives him a crazy appetite as well. Mm-hmm. The use of his powers, however, is to predict which jokes will make others laugh and then tell those jokes. Aside from that, in private, he meditates on things that people have told him about where we're going, what might be there, to see if he gets any intuitive flashes to give him something to prepare with, which is, of course, entirely at your discretion.
For sure. I think that every joke that you see them laughing at is extremely body. Like this is a sailor's mess, and when you think of jokes, you think of things and you start saying things you don't even really 100% know what they mean, but everybody's cracking up.
And she says, "That's when you put the boop."
And
Everybody's laughing. Right. What's a blackjack? I don't know what a boop is.
Don't worry, kid. I'll tell you when you're older.
Thinks for a second about when he's older. Oh,
This is going to get very delicate when he gets older, isn't it? He's probably keeping a list of everything he said. Oh, I'll tell you when you're older. And as soon as he gets 18, I ain't handling that discussion. You all.
No.
he doesn't need a list. He can see 18.
I'm imagining Paladin walking in right when he says something extremely raunchy as hell. And Paladin is just like,
is this like Air Force? Hello.
I did not know.
Maybe
I did not
technically,
know you were capable of. Young man, are you aware of what you just said?
No, but I will be.
The entire
And that's
time
what makes it funnier.
the entire time he's telling these jokes, obviously Blackjack is the one who is laughing the hardest.
Yeah, it's and the crew is kind of like slapping Taro on the back, and one of them hands him a cigarette, and one of them gives him like a sip of rum. They think this is really quite funny.
Doesn't actually sip it. I'm Irish, but I'm Irish, not stupid. yeah. No, that's great.
That also makes them crack up when you say that.
Somebody leans over. You gonna smoke that? It's like, no, but somebody is.
Blackjack will hold out his hand for both of them.
I was gonna say,
Smoke the cigarette and drink the rum.
Jesus.
Who the hell stole my stogie? Gotcha.
Oh, Lord.
All right, it's you. I allow you the stogie, but you owe me one.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll figure something out at some point.
Leans over to Amethyst Ace. He's never gonna. It's gone.
I know, but I know also where he keeps his wallet.
I know, and he'll never know that you know.
God, what is more dangerous than a 13-year-old who actually knows the future? Chilling. That's the
mascot
of this story. Okay,
Thank goodness he's not a villain.
So, Taro, I think we'll resolve after you make the whole crew laugh uproariously. You head back to your quarters and spend some time meditating and you're not really getting anything specific, but you definitely have a vague sense of something big is happening or has happened or is about to happen. Like you're in the middle of something huge, but you can't quite picture what it is. You see flashes of boots on the ground. You hear screams of civilians. You hear gunshots, but this is not anything new. You're not really getting anything quite specific enough to get what it is. And Amethyst Ace is looking at her readings, and as you are going through them, you see something that you think that your instrument is probably broken because there is intense activity. And does this thing have a range? Do you know how far it might go?
Whatever I can see, it downloads from what I can see into that.
Okay. I think you see some intense activity. And I think that this probably is communications because that's what would be able to go further.
So that would be radio wave?
Yeah, radio waves. So you see these to the east, but what you notice is sort of like a black hole. There's one part to the east. There's constant radio communications, which is fairly normal. They're a little more heightened than usual. But you also see one section that, and as you look out on over the bow of the ship,
there's an energy void, isn't there?
Yeah. Some kind of blockage is happening. And and it's far away because these radio waves can go really far. You don't know exactly how far, but it is something is up.
Oh, crap. Snafu again. All right. Ugh. Oh, God. Blackjack.
Yeah.
There's a void where there shouldn't be a void. All radio communication is down, and X number of clicks out that way. And it's in the middle of the ocean, isn't it?
This is you are on the eastern coast of the UK, sailing south, and you see this black hole further east across the North Sea, where Denmark and Norway are.
Oh God, it's around the strait. I don't want to deal with the strait. I hate the strait. All right, I gotta go check this out. Who can handle comms? Who's handling our comms?
I can.
Good. Then, because, and I just point out there, it's like, that's not natural. And if you see a lot of light, you know something's bad's happened. So, we might want to have the ship kind of turn and head that way. But I can maneuver faster than it.
So you, as you're saying this, Anna, Captain Cousteau comes in and says, "I'm sorry to interrupt your meeting, but I've been called away. We are going to have to," and she's holding, kind of clutching another message.
You just got another rating into. There's a full communications void, and the entire radio spectrum has gone dead. And I give an approximate out that way. She
kind of blanches and she says,
"Yeah, don't. If it's, I'm going out there now."
No, you can't.
I don't see how you could stop me.
She takes the communication and she kind of holds it up and she says, "Germany's invaded Norway. And if there's something going on over there, we are in deep trouble." She said, I have my orders to bring you back to your to Captain Abbott at Old Hunstatten. And once I complete that, it's off to Portsmouth for me.
Sweetie, let me tell you one thing. You're part of the British Navy, and I don't report to you. So if you want to make sure the people at Bletchley keep getting their information, and yes, believe me, I know what's been going on there. Thank you, 20 committee. Now, let me go.
She stands up. She's not a terribly tall woman, but she her eyes kind of snap and she says, "I am in charge of this vessel and I have been given orders to bring you to Old Hunstatten. I will be bringing you there."
Good luck.
I
start flying out that way.
Oh, shit. Okay, what do the rest of you do?
Miss?
Yes.
Your orders are to take us to that location, but Miss, she's got she can help you get us there safely by avoiding some things.
I'm sorry, what?
She knows if there are things that are going to stop us from getting where we need to go.
All right. I didn't hear anything that was in our way. Was that what she meant, or?
Vigorous nodding.
So just to be clear for you, Jules, the geography of the place, this sort of void is to the east of where you are, and you are traveling south. So you're not going ahead, you're going off of the path that you're headed on. I don't know if that was what you understood.
Well, we're pretty much heading to we're on the pretty much I would head east. I would end up being going through the strait, ended up where right now they're pretty much there's a British blockade in that area right now normally, right?
Yes,
this
and
is a little bit before the sinking of the Bismarck. They would be.
It is, it's meant to be. There's been a very tense peace, not so much peace for quite some time, and there's not necessarily a blockade, but there is definitely tons of British ships patrolling around there. And the fact that the Germans have attacked Norway is pretty big, because somehow.
And I'm betting they're using it to try and get through, because right now, during this time, the only thing that's keeping Great Britain afloat is the Merchant Marines using Lend-Lease from the United States. And if that stuff goes nuts, Great Britain would actually be cut off and would lose the supplies from the United States. So
are you flying east then toward the coast of Norway? Okay.
And seeing pretty much is it a blackout? Is something being pulled? Is it just a dead zone? Did an EM pulse go off?
Okay, awesome. So what I'll get you to do is, if you could take a look at your speed and see how long it would take you to get to the coast of Norway. There's that chart that'll let you know. I'm not sure how fast you can fly, but you can take a look. And I want to say thank you to Erica, who just gave Paladin a hero point. We haven't covered that yet. If you are giving donations or bits to the channel, you will have the opportunity to offer one of our fabulous heroes a hero point, which they can use for rerolls and other very exciting things. So keep that coming. Thank you very much. Okay, so...
so I've got flight. It says 120 feet around.
120 feet per round. Okay. So what's your flight level exactly?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, usually it's I'm not super fast getting out there. I'm nimble and dodging in the air.
Okay, well, hold on. So apparently, Steel Sun's got the power suit has. Hold on, let me check it. Flight 8. I mean, would you want Paladin to accompany you out there? Do you we gotta go check out a thing?
If you want to join, that's awesome. But I am doing this. I'm letting you know what I'm doing, and then I'm just heading off.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. She just kind of looks up.
I don't answer to the military.
I know you don't. I know you don't answer to the military, dear. I know you do what you want. Now go do what you want.
Okay.
They wouldn't let me take my tin fish.
That's
rude.
Okay, so are you both going then?
Sure, why not? I'm not doing anything else.
So you're flying for quite some time, and as you are going out there, you are. You're over open ocean for quite a while. I'm not 100% how to calculate how fast and how quickly you can get there, but I will tell you it is about. You start to kind of figure out as you're going, this space isn't moving. It's very, very far away. Let's get a perception roll, actually, from Ace, I think, since you're the only one who could see it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of following Ace.
Flying through the air.
Just kind of whatever this thing is.
I have a question for you all, for the table at large. Because I am Canadian. How many feet are in a mile?
It's 5280.
Okay.
I don't know why I know that off the top of my head. I was right. Okay.
Hey, nice work. Nice
I don't like
work.
being right about that.
Okay. You rolled a natural 1.
Oh no.
Yeah, so pretty much what I can do is this is what happens at night. Standard with night flying is I can actually start saying okay, dealing with the void up there, I'm starting to lose the ability to tell up from down. So.
Oh.
Yeah, well, it's you see this a lot in the pilots. It's they. Mm-hmm. It's called flight blindness, and it's you're unable to tell. Are you moving up? Are you moving down? Left, right? You become completely blind, and this starts to freak her out, and at this point, she's just like, "Oh shit!" She's starting to having the flashback to being pinballed around in a gravitational well. So she starts freaking and starts to
just kinda
spark.
Grabs her by the shoulders and goes, "Honey, you're gonna be fine."
She doesn't know you're there. She does not perceive you.
Fuck.
She's just starting to spark and kind of start to glow a little bit.
Okay, hands off now because that's probably going to melt something.
It's not. It's not
Okay.
heat. It's light. This won't melt anything.
Okay, so let's just crank up the neutral density filters and we're good.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much is like you also know you do have a pair of sunglasses that she usually uses, just to help if something like really flashy happens. She's just pretty much doing this to put light around her so that way she can try to
does she
reorient
need to know
herself.
where the water is? We've got spotlights if we need them. Would that help?
That might. Give it a try. See if she's able to tell the difference.
Yeah. So the spotlights they're just like regular incandescent spotlights. They're rank 1, I guess, for whatever that means. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, the wavelength is different from what she's giving off, and it might be enough to break through because it is so alien to what she's trying to conjure.
It is. Yeah. They're basically. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, if it's like rank 1, it's like a radius of 60 feet. So they're like.
Okay, so you've got some light. You're sparking up. I think this. I imagine would be probably a temporary glitch in perception because you're getting this weird disorientation. Do you continue flying or do you go back?
I don't continue flying. I hover, trying to pretty much using, trying to figure out what is up, what is down. So the thing is, what she's going to do is stop. If she can, and stop and catch her breath, start lighting up the area as best she can, turn off flight for just a second to figure out which way is down, and then go, okay, to try and at least get the up and down thing. Because I know she's over water. She can't breathe water.
Yeah. Any navigational aspect as well. Oh, wait. I've got the radio. I can just literally radio.
Sorry, who are you radioing?
I could radio Taro, who is back on the ship, and I know has a small radio with him. Just be like, just like, how long have we been out? And then just trying to get like because we've only been flying directly east. You said
East, yeah.
Yes. I don't know. Trying to just get any numbers I can for. Amethyst.
So Taro and Blackjack, it's kind of like late afternoon, and you actually are just docking at Old Hunstatten at this point.
Well, I thought it was nighttime.
No, it's the day.
Oh.
That changes everything then, doesn't it? Shit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were flying at night.
No, it's daytime. Yeah, you started early morning in the northern.
Early morning. I'm thinking 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was nighttime.
It is. It's kind of a overcast, cloudy sort of day. But yes, so Tara and Blackjack, that's where you are. It looks like you're just about to dock.
Well, we're just pulling in now.
All right. So they're all on Staten. Okay. And she starts just kind of going, carry the. And then the 1. Okay, subtract that. Spits out just a number.
Yeah, so you're probably about, I don't know, you've been flying for, an hour? Half an hour-ish? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're maybe, you're a few miles off the coast. And this...
Coast of which? UK or...
UK.
Way? Okay.
UK. Yeah.
Yep.
The coast of Norway is about 400 miles away. So
Gotcha.
It would take you the whole day to fly there.
As it would.
Yeah.
So if that's where go on the boat, because they're going to be dodging U-boats.
Where this is the hole you're seeing in the EM spectrum, then it would be quite a ways away. If you're heading to Norway.
So the whole. Have we been observantly getting closer to the hole, or has it stayed in place?
It's mostly stayed in place.
Gotten a little
Very,
bit closer.
very little, very little change.
Is the movement, and this is going to sound silly, is the movement due to the rotation of the Earth?
The movement of what?
The hole, I believe.
The hole?
Yeah, you said the hole is barely moved. I.e., so if it.
I would say that
it's going to sound
have
silly,
enough
but I do
information
have
to be able to tell
a
that.
decent amount of ranks in expertise in stellar navigation, which does take into account the movement of the Earth underneath. Does that make sense?
That does make sense, but you would not have enough information for that since it's overcast and daytime, and you're basically just seeing kind of like one blank spot.
Oh, of course. But what I'm thinking is that something that I would be able to take into account as we're moving?
No.
I.e., is like this might be moving because it's a fixed point in space and the Earth is moving under it if it's moving. I'm not saying I can navigate by it, but is that you
might be able to draw that
logical
conclusion.
deduction to draw?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, that's all. It's just stuff that I'm putting in so that way I can, i.e., in the future, use it as a part of telemetry to relay the data back. That's all.
Okay, cool. So while you're kind of hovering out there, let's check back in with Blackjack and Taro. You are docking here, and Captain Cousteau says, well, what's left of you is going to be meeting up with Captain Abbott, your superior officer.
Sounds good to me, ma'am.
Excellent.
And she's like tapping her foot impatiently. She's like, I really have to go. Can you?
I'll make sure he doesn't get in any trouble, ma'am.
She kind of narrows her eyes and says, I heard about the jokes you were making at lunch.
I just wanted them to laugh.
Well, mission accomplished. So proud of himself.
Lemon pie smile.
You get a sense, the two of you, on this ship right now, there's a sense of intense urgency. There are sailors scurrying around, and on the port as well. You see everybody has like tunnel vision. They are focused on what they're doing. There's a lot more activity than you would imagine would happen in this this tiny little port town that you have ended up at.
All right. So we're supposed to go meet with our new commanding officer.
This is your existing commanding officer. You already know Captain Abbott. You've been a team for a few months now, so.
Yeah. And she was saying that we're supposed to meet with this person, though, right?
Mm-hmm, that's right. And it's kind of interesting that it's Captain Abbott because he very rarely comes out on the field. He usually sends an intermediary.
Bit of an armchair general, this guy.
Yeah. You get the sense sometimes that he's like, ugh, I gotta babysit these hooligans.
Ugh, gotta babysit these GIs.
Yeah. Because you're all, you're not all necessarily in the same cultural context. 13-year-old boy and then some future militarists. Some of you were in the military in the future, yes?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Sort of a branch, whatever the future military NASA thing is. Yeah. Oh, FYI, there is a really a guy that does that's kind of like a hero, but doesn't really see the front lines. Is usually doing it at home. Are called boudoir commandos.
Boudoir commandos. That is a great term.
Yeah, I just thought I'd let you know because it's hilarious.
That might be the new one to beat.
Yeah.
Boudoir commando. I love it.
Like I said, I studied World War II for fun. And by the way, Scrim, just want to let you know, I love you. I hope I didn't derail anything.
Oh no, you're good. I we'll see what comes up in that direction. It's mostly ocean.
In the boudoir.
Whoa.
I hope I didn't mess it up.
No. It's totally fine. It is all good. So I want to kind of know what your sense is for Taro Blackjack, what you guys want to do here, because you're kind of obviously you got to get off the boat. That's kind of clear, unless you're going to just stare Cousteau down and say no. But what do you want to do about your team? You know Captain Abbott as much as he's a boudoir commando. Is not one to be either patient or understanding.
He wants the whole team. He doesn't want just a couple. Gotcha. I'm going to basically point to the radio and motion for Taro to hand it to me. Hey, Paladin, where you guys at?
How far are we out? Like a couple miles, you'd say, or?
Yeah, a few miles out.
Yeah. A couple miles off the coast. Why do you ask?
About how long do you think your excursion's going to take?
Give me a couple minutes to get some more readings.
All right.
I'll be out here for a couple more minutes, and however much time it takes us.
Yeah, I'll just grab onto you. You fly us back. I can do pinpoint precision. You're good at the speed.
How long is it going to take for you guys to get back once you get the readings or whatever it is she needs?
Let me just do the thing.
Yeah, since you're faster.
Let's just say I'll go a mile and
in like a round, right? You a mile and a round?
I mean, yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
It looks to be
it's
so.
It's like
If we really
not even
this thing. If we really go zoom, you know. So I can be back there in a few minutes.
All right. Scrim, is there like a bar or something that looks like it's right here on these docks?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of pubs.
Okay. I'm going to look for the nearest one. What's it called?
It's called the Crown and Rose.
All right. Well, once you get to Taro, you remember what the name of this town was?
Hampsteadshire.
Once you get to Hampsteadshire,
Sure.
then meet us at the Crown and Rose, and then we'll go meet our new boss.
All right. You might also want to brush up on the local geography.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
No.
I'm trying to play it cool. I'm sorry.
It's like an awful game of telephone.
I could listen to
Oh
you.
my god! No! This is worse. This is carrier pigeon, man. Carrier pigeon in different language, transcribing each other as we go along.
We're playing the best game of carrier pigeons.
Send a raven.
Here we go, baby.
Oh, I love it.
Send a raven. Okay. Using my precognitive powers, is this pub a bad idea?
This pub appears to be a neutral idea. Although you're pretty sure if you pull out one of those jokes, you'll get a good laugh.
Righto.
All right, so I think Paladin and Ace, you enter the pub to a round of very intense laughter at Taro's jokes.
Oh, jeez.
You don't know what he said, but you know it was bad. And it's all sailors in here. They're all from
And
there.
it's just like, yes.
Oh god! If he told the calamari joke again?
No, I've got new ones. There once was a man from Nantucket
Okay.
who was shaped like a
No. I've already said it once. It's fine.
and said, "Fuck it."
And the thing is, like, you see her, she's taking, and Ace actually has in like the front pocket of her flight suit, she actually pulls out this little like Moleskine notebook and just writes them down, and Taro knows exactly what's in there. She is compiling a list of jokes because they actually after World War II they published a ton of these of military like limericks and jokes and silly slang and stuff that came up during that. Usually also as a way
Really good.
to go into some of the things. And she's just writing down the stuff that he says, and it's just like it wasn't just grown men that had funny crap on the field. And she actually has jokes made by different people that she's cataloging because it's like, well, this is how they dealt with it, this is how. And for her, it actually helps with some of the PTSD because they found humor in some of the really messed up stuff.
You guys want the really creepy part of this? I'm precognitively taking these jokes from the future, creating a causality loop. So technically, nobody ever came up with these jokes.
That's what makes it even funnier.
Bye, no one.
See, somewhere...
It's a standalone complex, man.
Somewhere, Doctor Who is laughing about the provenance, but not the joke.
All right, let's all take 15 minutes to think about that. And
oh god, multiverse theory's a bitch, isn't it?
My brain is like doing cartwheels right now.
Are you telling me Taro is anonymous?
No, I am, Matt. Oh, jeez.
I will neither confirm nor deny anything.
So, as you're all contemplating the nature of the time-space continuum, you get back together and you are to head to the Army's headquarters in Old Hunstanton. And it happens to be upstairs from the Crown and Rose.
Oh.
Well, how serendipitous.
Isn't that just lovely?
All right, well, I guess now that y'all are here, we can go upstairs.
So you head up, and this is a very small town with this is like a makeshift army space, not a base. It's a place where briefings, communications. There's a couple of rooms up here. One has it's kind of stuffed full of large, bulky World War II communication systems, and you see a woman in there fiddling with a couple of things, moving some wires around. She's got an earpiece on. And down at the end of the hall, you see a handwritten sign that says Captain Abbott, and it's pasted to the door.
I'm going to walk in the door.
So you enter in, and Captain Abbott is there he's by himself. And he's kind of got a bunch of papers spread over a large, heavy wooden desk, and he's got a cigarette in his mouth, an ashtray filled, like overflowing, filled with cigarettes, and he is holding you see all strewn across the floor. And it's not like you're stepping over it, but kind of right next to him are balls of yarn, and he's crocheting as he looks over all of these documents. And he takes his cigarette, it's just kind of a stub, takes a new one, lights the cigarette with the old one, puts the other one out, and starts a fresh one, looks up, does a stitch, and says, "Oh, it's about time!"
Well, your boats can only go so fast there, sir.
Oh boy, this is we have stepped in it, fellas. We are and then he looks at Ace and Paladin. Ladies, sorry, I'm used to commanding men. And then he looks at Taro, and then he looks at Blackjack. He's like, yeah, men. Anyway, so
listen.
I'll be honest with you, sir. I can spell better than a motherfucking piss cunt shit cock southern motherfucker tits than you can. So you ain't gonna bet me, sir.
That's bleep to you.
he looks at Blackjack and says,
Taro's ears. You're not allowed to hear this yet.
Paladin.
The thing is, like, I am fully aware I quoted George Carlin now.
Yeah.
But I thought it's a weird kind of spatial causality shit.
Yes.
Yeah, Taro, you see in the future an angry comedian saying that exact same thing.
You
Oh yeah.
And Paladin just kind of, I have a feeling she's still in her suit. She doesn't like to go outside it. She kind of just like barely slams her hand down on the desk and says, "Do I look like a delicate flower to you?" Exactly.
Are you in the
Tell us
armor?
what you need to, sir.
Yes, I am.
Right. Then you're a delicate flower in an armored vase.
Don't
Yeah.
give him ideas.
So Captain Abbott sort of composes himself and he casts off his crochet as he's talking to you. And he says, right. Sorry, I meant no disrespect. I'm just getting used to the terminology. Anyway, so yeah, some weird shit. That's what's happening. Some weird shit. And he explains to you that a ship. There's a lighthouse very nearby here. A ship crashed up on the rocks with a crew that was in very, very deep sleep. There was a crew of 10 on this allied ship. And all of the crew members were alive, but all of them are in this weird kind of coma. I've just gotten news that one of them woke up and he's willing to talk, but the Navy's kind of a mess now. I don't know if you've heard, but the Germans invaded Norway, and we have a bit of a disaster on our hands.
Well, what was the report from the bedpan commandos from there? Bedpan commando are medical corpsmen, by the way, FYIs.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's still words I don't know.
No, I know, but I'm just bringing that up just to put in a little World War II flavor. It's like, what did the bedpan commandos say about their state?
So this
Said
is like
the
medics,
BAM.
is what you're saying?
Yeah, medical corpsmen. It's a
Oh,
bedpan
okay.
commando.
Yeah.
Just everybody's some kind of commando. You could just throw an adjective in front of commando.
Or-
That's what I'm getting
I've
here.
also seen
Yeah,
ballistic
basically.
panic used.
He says, "Well, they've never really seen anything quite like it, but so far they all they know is that they are not dead. They can't tell us anything else about their state. And if you're on bed rest and you're not dead, well, you pretty much get ignored if we can't do anything for you. So, anyway, I need you to go talk to the sailor. And by the way, this allied ship." There was one other thing. One of the crewmen painted on the walls, "Help me," in German.
Huh.
At some point, I guess before they all fell asleep. So, and he,
This is going to sound weird. It was painted. Was it on a wall or was it on a window? And if you looked through the window, like us on the outside looking in, would it appear normal, or is it reverse as if you were looking in a mirror? That'll tell us what he was doing when he.
And what was it painted in?
it was paint. And, yeah, it was paint. It was, it was written from the perspective, from the inside perspective, written onto the windows. Help me.
All right, so if we looked at from the outside of the window, it appeared like it was in a mirror.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's it. Okay, that says that. Thank goodness on that one, you know.
He casts off this little hat he's making, and it's like a pink knit cap. And he offers it to Blackjack.
I will take it gladly. Does it
Yeah,
fit
you're
on
looking
my
cold
head?
there, soldier.
That comes up later in the movie.
Does it fit though? That's the question.
It's a little tight, just a hair on the tight side.
So it's like a skull cap then. I'm gonna take my helmet off,
Okay.
put the hat on, snugly secure it, and then put the helmet back on.
Okay, awesome.
It suits you there, soldier.
You've gained a +1 versus concussion wounds to your head.
Yes, +1. Awesome. Yeah. So he gives you the location of this soldier, and and he says, normally the Navy would be all over this. Wouldn't be too happy about us talking with their people, but I mean, at this point, we are in a bit of a unique situation. So this is an unusual circumstance when you will probably just be able to get out whatever you want from this guy.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll go talk to him.
I reach into my other pocket and I pull out some of the fancier clove cigarettes that I do pick up because, well, why not? Toss it back to him. Was like, save one for when we come back with some good information. And I toss the pack to him.
You got it. Thanks, Ace. Thanks, everybody.
On it.
Good luck.
Yep.
Give the sloppiest salute that I can.
He starts another
Frickin' mitt flapper.
crochet project.
As we leave the room. Well, I like him. I think he seems like a pretty good dude.
I mean, he's a bit of an armchair general, and certainly.
But he's able to make the right call to delegate persons in the field. He's willing to deal with the politics, which I don't think any of us are really going to deal with it. I respect that. And the fact that he knits. Are you kidding me?
He's certainly not the admiral of the
that was
Swiss
the
Navy.
admiral that I used to work with. I miss that. You know, except he crocheted, this guy knits. It's cool.
Well,
All right.
happens.
As you're
What about,
talking
like, I lost my matches.
the knitting, the woman in the room next to you, she pokes her head out and says, "Yeah, he used to knit, but then he killed a German with his knitting needles, so he hasn't been able to get any new ones. He picked up crocheting."
Ooh, remind me, it's like, all right, next time we're in town, we'll see if we can get him a nice set. We'll get the ones that are circular, so that way you can actually have two, and if you drop one, you don't lose your project.
I simply say,
Don't tell
that's
anyone
fucking
what I do for fun.
hardcore.
You know, she has a little knit space in one of her pockets in her flight suit.
This wasn't even during the war. He was in Germany, and a German made fun of him
He just
for knitting.
was he at least a Nazi? That sounds like a Nazi thing to do. I mean,
She shrugs.
Ah, look at that loser. He's a knitting pan.
That's the one thing they say about Army men. Army and Marines, they can turn almost anything into a freaking weapon. The problem is, if you do that, you risk losing your project. But if we get him a nice pair of connected circs, you can stab both, one in each eye, and you don't drop your project, so no stitches get dropped. You don't have to frog the whole thing.
Is anyone else thinking, I'll kill you with my teacup?
nope.
Well,
Okay, sorry.
I'm the only one who saw Chronicles of Verdict. Okay.
All right.
She takes she has a big long wool scarf that she wraps around her neck and says, "All right, well, good luck with everything."
Good luck to you too.
Go
All right, so
the communication.
here's the thing. Can we just put this in as we see that picture, the scarf, and it's actually done in the kind of Doctor Who colors?
Yeah,
So,
totally.
and that's kind of what
totally.
influences like the fourth Doctor's kind of look. 'Cause
You
somebody in World War
described-
II saw the scarf.
Yeah, you described that scarf, and I was like, that I heard a TARDIS.
Sorry, I
Just
did.
right away.
Sorry, you're playing around with some of my favorite
Okay,
time
now we're all
frames, and
good.
I know what influences stuff, so it kind of makes me happy we get to kind of tie it together. I'm sorry, it's just
Can we,
makes me excited.
can we together as a group get this out of our system now and do Yoda doing an impression of a TARDIS really quick before we
I'm so sorry.
just 3, 2,
Quick interlude,
1.
go for it.
Brilliant!
Jumping in time, he did. Post-traumatic stress he represented.
Yes, this point in time it is. I'm sorry.
Always in motion is the future.
Well, I suggest we agitate the gravel and get on down to where we're supposed to go. Ladies, gents.
You've been given both the location of the boat and the location of the sailor who is now awake. He's being held in a Navy infirmary.
All right.
This is going to sound silly, But what I want to do we have location of any of the ones that are still in a coma?
They're also in the infirmary, all of them.
All right. Pally, I got an idea. You might be able to get some
Yes.
better information from this. I can actually
Absolutely.
check.
She crawls in her armor.
All right. What I want to do is like from the people that, normal people, not the awesome people like us, because we were just too cool for school, and I kind of tapped the aviator glasses I put on her.
Yes.
And like what we can check is I want to at least get an idea of the electrical activity in like the medics, the electrical activity in the brains of people there, and the electrical activity of the people in the brains that of the guy that woke up. At least we can just say it's like, okay, they all kind of look the same, or if they don't look the same, because you've seen it's like if somebody gets like shocked and they're kind of like and it takes a bit for the brain to start firing again.
It could just
I can do
be
a quick look and see if there's something weird, or at least the wavelengths of the electricity going through there. You can do with what I'm reading. You would know what that means.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. And I was going to end up chatting with the local blister mechanics and see what I could figure out.
Yeah, and Taro, you might be able, if you can see if any of these gentlemen still have a future, and Blackjack, you probably know more about any of us about dealing with one-on-one combat, making sure that we don't want them to. I don't want to cause permanent damage to them, and I want to make sure that how we handle this is respectful. Do you think I'm going to need guidance on best ways to approach wounded soldiers, because
it's gentle.
Help,
Miss Ace?
Because I don't want to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Daryl? Young fella?
Do I have to? Because everyone has a future, miss, and sometimes that it's in a dark place under the ground.
I don't want my actions on looking on somebody turning their future dark. So if me doing something will rob them of their future. Does that make sense? It's not that I'm asking you to tell me. I don't want to. I know enough about multiverse theory and the butterfly effect just from my own studies. A little bit. I don't want to inadvertently screw somebody's future up.
But I don't see butterflies. If they don't have a future, then I just see where they're buried. I see them buried.
Some of them, and there's going to be a couple gold stars on Ma's window. The best thing we can do is...
That's not what I see, Miss Paladin. I don't see their mothers, I see them. I see what's left of them. And I'd rather not, if that's okay.
That's totally fine. You don't... I say what we do is, well... and Paladin just thinks back to her days in far future med school when she still is taking the same oath that these doctors took. The best thing we can do is give them the best standard of care available, whether they're going 6 feet under or not.
Pretty much we try to give them a future, and if not, we give them a present as comfortable as possible, right? That's
true.
The rule. Gotcha.
Let's
all
rock
right.
and roll.
Man, I'm doing an in-person EEG. That's kind of cool.
A little bit.
All right, I'm bragging rights. I am the first EEG machine. I am the machine.
I love it. Okay, so you head over to this infirmary. I guess both Paladin and Ace have ways of kind of, either helping or maybe figuring out with their EEG powers what's going on. Taro, you are not interested in figuring out these men's future?
If I have to, I will, and frankly, it'll make for some good role playing. But it will not affect Taro well.
We'll get we'll let that kind of sit, and you can jump in whenever you feel it's necessary. But I kind of want to know, is Paladin going to assess these patients?
Paladin is going to go straight to the man who is awake. She wants to ask this guy some shit because he's awake. So she grabs I assume there's like a rolly chair around, like a kind of a spinny chair.
Yeah, like those chairs that doctors.
She grabs it. She kind of walks around over to the bedside, and just with a little sing song.
1 minute before, because I want to get like a doctor's reading EEG, a coma patient's EEG, and then what I want to do is observe the electrical activity in this guy's brain as you are talking about to see before he talks and afterwards, so that way so that you can interpret the readings I'm getting, because I don't know what the hell it does, but I know you've got a chance, because I don't.
Terrible.
While that's happening, I am tugging on Blackjack's fatigues, and I say, "What's a butterfly effect?"
Well, it's a theory, and then I go into extreme detail about what the butterfly effect is.
I thought you would be like, I don't fucking know.
Taro takes a second, his eyes roll up in his head and move back and forth like REM sleep, and then he goes, "You know, there's a version of the future where I understand that."
Good to know it's not this one, kid.
So this deep conversation is going on in the background. Well, so Paladin, you're doing a bit of a history assessment, and Ace is checking EEG readings, electrical activity in the brain.
Yeah, it's all because I don't know I know that happened, so I can look for it, and I'm seeing. Okay, so I can see like a doctor. Okay, what does it look like? And I've had an EEG, and the nice thing about the way I'm doing it is I'm not getting that freaking sticky, tapey gunk all over their heads.
That does
took forever to wash out.
That is never fun.
No, but what I'm doing is like, okay, we got like, all right, for 5 minutes, and I'm gonna, as they recount it, and I'm storing it on my little computer-y device. To almost everybody else, it looks, like a wallet or something, and it's biometrically set to my brainwaves, so no one else can get into it. But it's the way that I can put data that I get. That I can display it so somebody else could read it, because I realized so that is my 1 point of equipment. I'm using bunny rabbit ears for my superpowers, is to be able to display the readings that I see and can analyze. And I'm like,
okay, awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about with computer. I didn't oh crap, I didn't explain it well enough. Derp.
Awesome. Okay, so Paladin and Ace, as you enter this space, you see a very pale young man, maybe 19.
Oh, jeez.
And he has like a shock of dark hair, and he is staring at the ceiling, kind of just not really.
Question. Does his hair look like it changed, usually, because that sometimes can happen because of a stressful effect?
No, nothing seemed to.
Doesn't look like he has seen too much shit. Okay. So Paladin kind of is pushing her chair very slowly and just gets his attention with a little sings. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I'm a doctor they've sent to see what's going on here. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
I don't know what happened. Everybody keeps asking me what happened. I don't know what happened.
I don't want to know what happened. I just want to know how you're doing, how you are feeling. My job is, after all, to treat you. I'm not here for any information that the brass thinks is locked up in your little head. I just want to know if you're healthy or not. And we're going to figure that out, okay?
Okay.
Okay. She sits down in the chair and continues very, very gently. All right. Are you in any pain at all?
No.
No? Okay. Good. Oh, I never asked your name. What's your name, sir?
My name is Sergeant Williams. Private Williams.
Private? Okay. Doesn't matter your rank. I'll just call you Mr. Williams, if that's okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. Any stiffness, any sort of tingling, anything, any weird feelings?
So in the course of the conversation, as you kind of get chatting with him, it seems like physically he's 100% fine. But he has this like scared look that you've seen. Has Paladin done medicine for the army or for people who would have been in military?
Yeah, her roots are definitely in combat medic. I think already kind of.
Oh, sorry, you're cutting out there.
I'm sorry.
I didn't hear that last sentence.
That's okay. I think she's already kind of figured out that he's got some serious shell shock going on.
Yeah, and I think what over the course of the conversation, what's unusual is he's kind of describing himself before the event and was fine, but over the course of essentially, over the course of this experience, has gone from no issues to this like straight up PTSD, so he tells you, Doctor, I don't know what went on, but I just don't remember a full day. We were out sailing near the coast. We were on reconnaissance, not far from Norway, and
Not far from Norway.
we then I woke up here. We didn't see anything. I don't know what happened. I just Doctor, can I tell you something?
Yeah, sure. Anything, dear.
And Ace, as he's talking, you see this like his brain like lights up in a region that would be like he sends out waves that reflect both simultaneously fear and also sleep. This is the kind of reading you would get from someone who is asleep, and you also get a reading of a sense of
so
intense
this
fear.
kind of almost has an appearance of this is what Paladin would say, of somebody that is going into maybe a lucid dreaming state.
Something like
Maybe,
that.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
He may be, and I just kind of note that.
And he
down.
leans.
That's what you see. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. He leans up to Paladin and kind of like whispers in her ear. My first thought when I woke up was that I just wanted to kill everyone.
Mm.
And then the waves stop and he leans back down and he says, "Please, I'm not crazy. I don't know what it was. I'm sorry."
It's okay. We see this in a lot of soldiers.
Okay.
We see this blanking of memory, this whole thing. It's okay. All right? You're going to be okay.
Soldier, you're not crazy, and we believe you.
Mm-hmm.
We know you're not crazy.
I've seen a lot of GIs. There are a lot of folks like you who've been in very stressful situations that develop symptoms like this. Okay? You are not a broken man. Okay?
Okay.
You're strong enough to tell us. That's braver than most men we've seen.
My colleague is correct.
I respect that, sir.
He kind of shrinks back and says, "I'd like to go to sleep now."
That would be acceptable. All right. We'll leave you alone.
And I
Thank you
think
for
we
your time.
will take our break right there. Dun dun dun. Okay.
Cool.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, guys!
Holy crap.
Bloody genius!
Allison, can you please be my doctor? You're like the most reassuring and calm person.
Okay.
Okay.
This is why I love Pally.
Everything's fine.
I've perfected this shit. I'm very much a mama bear IRL. So this is how
I love it.
my girlfriend has some bad anxieties, so that's kind of where that comes
Oh
from.
yeah, no, you were just so calming. I was like, oh, I feel so relaxed.
You know you guys aren't on a break yet right now, right? You're just talking.
Oh, you cut us out.
No, I haven't cut you out. Like, you're just talking.
You should cut us
But
out.
if you want me to cut you out, if you want me to start the break now, I will. Okay,
yeah.
okay, the break's starting.
We would love to.
Right now. And we're back.
All right, welcome back to Guardian Allies, where a creepy ship has crashed on the rocky shore of the southeastern UK, near a small town called Old Hunstanton, and
Bill,
Hunstanton,
Iowa.
Shervilleton, and
Shire.
we're on Avon, and our heroes have been checking in with the crew, who are all found asleep on board of this ship, and on the inside was written in blood red paint, help me in German. We have been able to talk to Private Williams, who a 19-year-old who is exhibiting severe PTSD after about one night in the Navy. And he spoke of having an urge to kill when he woke up from this weird coma-like sleep that his crewmates are still currently under.
Mm-hmm.
So Paladin and Ace, you had a chance to chat with Private Williams, Blackjack, and Taro. What are you doing in the meantime?
After you, Blackjack.
Well, besides explaining the intricacies of the butterfly effect, I'm just kind of keeping an eye around the room, just seeing if anything feels amiss while the doctor types do their thing.
Okay.
Is there a record player in here?
Sure.
Ooh.
I'm going to go to the record player and I'm going to see what records they have and start playing something.
All right. They've got some. Most of it is classical music, orchestral music, and there is one of. I need an era appropriate. Let's maybe chat can supply something from the 30s.
I'm handling it right now.
All right, you figure it out. Yeah. Exactly. There we go. Oh, you know what? I
Old school,
Yeah.
anything goes, would go.
What year are we right now?
So Paladin
Also-
personally is going to ask for either that you play some Charlie Christian.
I would suggest maybe you should play something that has to do with a sweetheart back home, because anything goes sounds real creepy when you're feeling a little insane.
Paladin looks at him. And she looks over Blackjack. Duke Ellington, sophisticated lady, maybe.
All right, sure.
That'll-
There's some
Brilliant.
Plus, that'll put him in the right mindset to listen to you, sophisticated ladies.
Oh, if you weren't 14.
Oh,
Slap the
I won't be 14 forever.
The second
So,
year of age, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you, kid.
Oh,
Wait,
jeez. So on that interesting note, my
Tugs on
sound set
Blackjack's
is supposed to be.
What does slap the shit mean?
Like
Is that
laughing?
is that more lewd stuff?
No. So you can see the future, right?
Sure.
All right, so imagine a future where I'm going to finish this action and I reach my hand up like I'm going to slap him.
Did she think I was being sarcastic?
No.
Just a bit too adult for your britches.
So this sound set is supposed to be like a club, so it's not really perfect, but there we go. We've got some
No,
old-timey
that's
music.
100% the music that I found was just
Yeah, I
something
know.
like jiving. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
That's
It contrasts very strongly with the 9 men lying comatose in here.
Well, you know
and
what?
there's a nurse who's taking care of everybody, and she kind of looks up at the music, and she kind of nods. She seems to appreciate a little levity.
Tell
to
me
the
more.
situation.
Tell me more about this boogie woogie bugle boy of Company C.
That's perfect.
Wait, was my company B?
I've been
Or
watching
am I
a lot
losing
of.
my mind?
I've been watching a lot of text to speech, and all I can think of is Lord Adorable now.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, now this is nice. Paladin's gonna go over to the nurse and say, "Hello, I'm Dr. Lux. Nice to meet you. And you are a nurse?
Yes. I didn't know someone else was coming. Oh, you're with
That's okay.
Captain Abbott.
Yes, I'm with the Armchair General.
Right. She kind of like doesn't say anything.
You're allowed to laugh, sweetie. It's okay.
Okay. Yes. Is there anything I can help you with?
Anything really. Have you noticed anything with the men here? Like, I want to. You've seen. I just got here. I'm trying to get. I'm trying to assess the situation. Boo. Dear.
Well, it's unusual. I tried to rouse a couple of them, but none of them responded to pain or noises or anything. And
have you given them anything at all? Have you administered any IVs? That?
So far we've been trying to keep them hydrated as best as possible, but since they seem all right, most of our resources are going to soldiers who've been injured.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And if there's anything I can help out with in the other med ward, I'm good to do that too, of course.
Yes, please. If there's anything else we can do for them, it would be great if you could let me know. And she kind of looks at the four of you like you don't all really look like doctors, so she's kind of.
I'm the only doctor
wary.
here. This is just kind of the entourage. They go wherever I go, and they're much appreciated.
Yeah, as they look over at Blackjack, he's just like sitting there by the radio, just like doing this.
She said, I can tell you one thing. One of them, and she gestures to one of them that's lying on the bed, and his hands are kind of outside of the blanket that he is covering him. I cleaned him up, but he had red paint all over his hands.
Okay.
I thought it was blood at first. That's usually what they come in with, but it was paint. Yeah, I had to scrub it a little bit because it was partially dried, and you can see there's still like little flecks of paint. She's like, I pulled out the turpentine, and that lead-based stuff just takes forever to get out.
Absolutely. Oh God, the stuff is. Oh, it's nasty.
Yeah. So you can kind of see like under his fingernails some red paint.
All right. She makes an order. Test that gentleman for any lead poisoning, and just in case. She's got a full plate. She's living right now. Oh, she loves this shit.
Test them all for lead poisoning.
Oh, might as well.
Yeah, right.
So that's kind of her lead right now. Thank you, nurse.
All right. Is there anything else the rest of you would like to do with these patients before you head elsewhere?
I will see if there are future circumstances that a doctor or nurse could possibly like nip in the bud if they knew about it sooner.
Interesting. So you basically want to know, like, does one of them have a secret tumor or something like that?
Kind of. Probably a little more immediately applicable, though.
Right. Okay.
Is there a future where a doctor runs over and tries to stabilize somebody and goes, oh, if only we'd known?
Okay, cool. Do you have an ability you can roll for this to see if you, like, when you're trying to do it?
You know what? The rules on telling the future are super vague. So my policy with this character has been, you tell me.
Okay,
I am completely in your hands. If you want me to, we can roll a d20, and if it's high, it works. But
you know what?
Really,
I will get you to roll a d20, and I'm gonna use the result for something else.
Oh, all right. The man could die, but he's also going to lead the KKK. Okay. I rolled a 10.
Paladin with her Hippocratic.
Okay.
Oof.
Okay, so with a 10, you see this group of men. You kind of see many disparate futures. Most of them sticking with the Navy, about half of them not surviving the war. You don't see anything immediate right here, right now, that like you're describing, like, oh, if only we'd known that he was diabetic, we would have given him insulin. Sorry, anachronism. But yeah, so it There's nothing like that, but you do see kind of this is again very standard. About half these men will survive after 1945. But I think there's one extra thing actually. So when you kind of look at this, you see that, but then it's sort of interposed with a darker possible future, where they none of them make it, and it's a sense of, you kind of see flashes of occupation. You see boots on the ground, you see Nazi flags, but now this time they're in the UK. That you've never seen before.
Can I tell if it's related to these people?
You are pretty sure these specific humans are not necessarily the linchpin of this possible future. It's not that one of these 10 is going to bring the Nazis in and they're a secret spy or anything like that. You're just pretty sure you're seeing around this episode whatever happened on that ship, something is going to affect the future somehow. And one of the possibilities is that Britain will lose.
I suppose that was always possible.
Yeah, this is the first time you've seen it. It's pretty chilling.
I'll walk over to Blackjack, who is probably the one who's least engaged with the other soldiers right now.
Not even remotely engaged with the other soldiers.
Just walk over to him, tug on his fatigues.
What's up, kid?
Whatever this is, it's important. Whatever did this, it's big. It's bad. It turns things in a bad way.
All right. I'll make sure that we keep that in mind.
I know that sounds obvious because every victory matters, but this one, I don't like what I saw.
Blackjack will reach down and, put his hand on his shoulder. Well, kid, that's why we're here. To prevent stuff like that.
Okay. Put on a show of being comforted while still echoing through his head.
All right. What would
So
you
I'm
like to do
walk over
next?
to. I'm gonna walk over to Paladin.
What's up, bud?
Need you to step over here for a second, away from all these.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of pitch my voice down a little bit. And so apparently the kid thinks that all of this, and he kind of motions with his hand, just all the people in here. Apparently it's something important and will lead to some real bad stuff. So I understand you're kind of using the carrot right now, but if it helps get information, maybe switch to the stick.
All right. I'll do as much prodding as I just don't want to. And she looks over towards William's bed. I'm scared for that one.
He's trying to sleep, but he's not asleep.
Yeah, I'm scared for that one.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
The cost of one could save the lives of millions. So,
This is true.
it's checks and balances. And I'll kind of lightly pat Paladin on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
You got this.
Absolutely. When am I done?
All right. I'm gonna pull out the different scans from the normal people, like the doctor stuff, us, the guys in the coma, and that dude, and I'm gonna let him show to Pally. And it also says like when the guy was talking about when he woke up, his, and you'll remember what Scrim said. It will be able to pull up from the. It's like, oh yeah, that's kind of like what you would see in lucid dreaming. So it might be something you might want to look for in people when they start talking about that event, if they go into another thing,
And I think the main thing you gather from this is
Oh, yeah.
the two of you are able to kind of piece together that Williams, he's awake. He's more or less normal, other than that weird little episode. The rest of them who are still sleeping have simultaneously waves that are broadcasting sleep and ones that are like fight or flight, survival, aggression, fear, and they are at a very high adrenaline and anxiety right now while asleep. So that lucid
pull
dreaming
that out?
piece is definitely probably, you think maybe they're trying to, they're in some kind of nightmare is almost what it seems like to you.
All right. All right. So if they're pulling that, excuse me, that was a burp and a half. If that means that's what the electrical area in the brain is doing.
Yeah.
What do you
Something
think?
happened on that.
Either that, I don't know if the medicine around this time has anything that could. I know at least around this time it was a lot of anti. I don't know if there was any like old school drugs that can fuck with the dream state of that.
Well, what the heck do you want me to do? Give him a bunch of laughing gas and see what happens? Because that's what we probably have here.
Yeah, but the thing is, we also don't want to,
Exactly.
we don't want to lock this stuff in. We want to be able to stop it. And we don't know. Wait a minute. Do you think there might be like the brain is a receiver and something out there might be broadcasting this shit?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Whatever happened on that boat, I'm screwed with these gentlemen.
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
Part
if
of me wants to go check it out, and part of me knows better.
The thing is, like, we also might be able to use this in the future, at least for disinformation and creating paranoia among at least stories about this,
Chemical
disinformation campaign, i.e. stuff, pretty much taking this, modding it, and using it as, like, if the Axis are pulling this shit.
Mm-hmm.
As you're discussing the implications of these scans, simultaneously, all of them like arch their backs. The 9 that aren't awake, and William sits up in his bed and looks over and goes, "What?" And all of them say in unison in German, "Hilf mir!" And then they collapse back onto their beds, and one by one, they start blinking their eyes open and looking around.
Shit.
Are they blinking in a pattern?
No.
Yeah, blink, 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 like an SOS or something.
Yeah.
No, they're like, it looks like, and one of them says, what's happening?
Wait. Okay, I'm going to be getting, it's like, blackjack. You were telling me about an old Star Trek, I think it was the Next Generation thing with, remember, it was like one moon circles and they were dream broadcasting a message and stuff. I don't think all these guys are...
I'm going to do my history to see if I remember exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah, because you were talking about, like, you used to watch all this stuff. There was a Star Trek episode where, it drove everyone crazy, but the one person that was telepathically enhanced could get, one moon circles. You remember. You told me that.
1 second, I got to find it. There it is.
Sorry.
Wow, a 1.
Nailed it.
Oh.
That was a 1?
Oh, never mind. I wasn't scrolled down all the way. All right, with a 20, do I know what she's mentioning? Because the player doesn't at all.
So is this...
It was a Star Trek The Next Generation episode where they were both people stuck on two sides of a rift that gravitationally held them there. And there was no way they could communicate. They couldn't get out ever. And one race on the other side of the rift was telepathic. And so what they were sending out was this one message is like eyes in the dark, one moon circles. And eventually, because Deanna Troy was part beta Z, she was able to hear it, and she was having chronic nightmares on what was going on. So the thing is, like, she couldn't, she was dreaming this stuff all the time, but no one else could dream. So with her and Commander Data, they actually were able to, eyes in the dark meant that there was another group out there that they couldn't see, but they were able to communicate with. One moon circles was the atomic, representation for hydrogen, one proton, one electron. So that's how they kind of communicated, so they could blow stuff up and make them escape. So what I'm kind of referring to as is somebody sending something into their brain. You're the. I didn't know if you knew.
Is there something like Blackjack's history, like that he would have?
20th century pop culture.
That's your jam.
Basically, my character is a major history buff, which is why he volunteered for this job. And it's mostly centered around when superheroes started appearing and people with power started coming around. So
okay.
And he's really dug the pop culture of the 20th because, let's be honest, it's the most interesting pop culture that we have.
So I think
I was thinking, referencing that, he'd be able to maybe think about what kind of superpowers, especially at least using that as a reference point, that might do something like that.
And I think too, with a 20, you are kind of able to, like, what she's talking about, and you also are able to sort of extrapolate to other pieces of fiction that, where there's someone controlling a mind, and there's sleep involved, messages through dreams, and in fact, it kind of is reminiscent of Tarot, who, I don't know how much has Tarot talked about his dreams at all.
He mentions as visions, but he doesn't really describe them as dreams to that. He's very serious about being taken seriously. And he worries that if he, plays his hand too much, he's going to end up crying wolf. So he's very careful about what he shares with them. And he's vague, not because it's mysterious, but because there aren't that many clues to go on. Okay.
So maybe then it wouldn't remind you of Tarot's situation necessarily, but you're able to kind of, you can see some parallels there.
Okay. I'll just basically say the same thing that Jules said, because wasn't a Star Trek guy.
Sorry, guys. I just remember that one. When this
it's all good.
Maybe.
The nurse is like running around. She is in like a tizzy. She calls another nurse in, and they're tending to the sailors and trying to calm them down and chat with them.
Paladin kind of just gets herself in there and is like, "This something you girls have seen before, or is this?"
No. This. That was horrifying. What was that?
I'm gonna walk over to Tarot.
Oh, sorry. From what me and my colleague Amethyst here have been able to figure out, we think there's something wrong. Oh, ladies, we think there's something wrong upstairs. And that might seem obvious. We've pinpointed it to be something with how the men are sleeping, how the men are dreaming. We're thinking they saw something at that boat that's haunting them, per se. Do you understand what you do? Are you smelling what I'm stepping in here, ladies?
They look at you like wide-eyed and are just horrified. And they said, do the Germans have something where they can haunt your dreams?
Well, we certainly hope not. And if they do, we'll it. That I do know. All right, ladies. It's nothing to worry about.
They both look at each other and then are called away by one of the sailors and begin to go take care of them. But they're sort of looking at you with like, they're giving you some side eye, like, what is happening? They're freaked out. You freaked them out.
I'm going to walk over to Tarot and, hey kid, what'd they say?
Helfe mich?
Okay.
Means help me.
Yeah. If I must say, what was it, Scrim? Hilfmir? Yeah? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I believe actually the proper German would be Hilfenmir. So that made me think, I wonder if it's not the Nazis, but it's something else. It very well could be Nazis, but that's something.
Don't read into my German because it's not.
Okay, that's valid.
It's not.
Cool. I was
if
just
there's some sort of trick of the language, that's because I got it wrong.
Okay, I was just like, ooh, trick of the language.
You interpret it to mean help me.
Helfenmir means help me, but so help me if this turns into it's liberate tuteme ex inferis, I'm gonna lose it.
You're valid.
Okay, so the nurses are handling things, Paladin's helping out a little bit, but there's not really much you can do for the men right now. What would you like to check out in here? Is there anything else you want to do here before you head elsewhere?
No.
Excellent. Well, where do you want to go next?
Really. No.
Was anything coming from outside? Since I'm studying the spectra, what at the time was anything going on weird with any other electromagnetic waves? When they all woke up, kind of doing that shit at the same time.
No, and I think that's something that Ace would notice. Like there was not like a message or something. Yeah, there was no trigger or message. It just seemed like they all kind of were. Yeah, that's a really good question. There was nothing going between them.
All right, eidetic memory. What exactly was going on? Because that's that. If we're talking positives and negatives, it's like my one positive, the one merit I have, I'm using old vampire terminology, is eidetic memory. What exactly happened right before they woke up?
Yeah, right before they woke up, you got a surge of that fight or flight feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And it all of them like just radiated fear and tension.
Did they all move the exact same way too?
Pretty much, yeah.
Or was it like one guy kind of crawled forward, one guy bent up, one guy, one guy went completely limp?
No, they all tensed up and arched their backs.
Yeah.
All right, so it was a universal reaction. All right, so I'm going over through everything that happened. What was playing on the radio when that happened? I don't know.
The jaunty tune.
Any words that was spoken. No, I know, but any words that might have been spoken that also was a trigger.
Yeah, I don't think you can't identify a specific trigger. You think that it's almost like it was
a time,
for lack of a better word, like a bomb, like an electromagnetic bomb planted in their head. Like not literally.
So pretty much there was a time delay device.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Maybe not a device. I don't want to mislead you, but like
I know.
Yeah, a burst.
Yeah, but it's like right now, it's like the only thing I know it might not have been a device, and I'm using bunny rabbit ears, but what time did that blackout start exactly?
You noticed it right as soon as you rounded the corner. Like, essentially, you were in the northern portion, the northern waters, north of the UK, and as soon as you went east, you started seeing it.
Okay, so FYI, guys, I put a map of England and exactly where we are, so now we can see it. I thought that'd be helpful because I love you guys. But all right, so
we're kind of on an island.
So that'll give us a start time. I know exactly when they woke up, recording those times, saying we might be able to backtrack to see how long this might last, and if anything else could cause, and things like why did one dude wake up earlier? I want to know what the heck this guy was doing right before. What job was he? Was he inside? Were the other guy outside? Do we have like topmen versus seamen? Like topmen, like on ships, they work on the riggings, but some guys might be working topside versus some people. So if we can get the job detail of what everybody that was knocked out was doing, we might be able to figure out what like heavier. So if this guy was like underneath, it might not last as long. If it, Pally and Blackjack, do you think you might be able to pull some of that?
I think so. I mean, getting their like name, rank, and serial number, and she just does this.
Name, rank, serial number. What was their assignment
and their position
on the
yes,
ship, and what were they doing right before they crashed?
Okay. Is there an interrogation? Anybody have or perception, insight?
I would say the good doctor would easily be. Oh, Taro, you're raising your hand so nicely.
So, my ability to see things in people's futures means that I can generally say some really creepy stuff by inferring things about their past.
Okay.
Which I use for a +11 for intimidation, +12 for investigation.
Okay.
So, if that would help.
You can roll
11.
either one of those, whether you want to intimidate or investigate.
Let's go with investigation. It's ever so slightly better.
So you're going around being creepy.
So let's see. 17.
Trust the creepy kid.
29.
29. Bam.
Do you want me to play that out a little bit?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Play it.
Who am I interrogating here?
You can approach any one of the 10 men.
Okay, wait. Now remind me, because I'm sorry, I'm a little brain scrambled.
That's fine.
These guys are Germans, or these guys are allies?
These guys are allies.
Okay.
Yeah, they are British.
Okay, and we're interrogating them.
Well, that's.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. You're getting information out of them. You're not treating them as hostile. Well, I guess you could treat them as hostile if you feel they are.
You could be rude.
But they did just wake up from a coma, so I don't know if that's necessarily applicable.
I would be gentle, young man.
I'm as gentle as a lamb's freshly shorn wool. Which one looks the most frazzled?
The guy with the paint on his fingers.
Straight up approaches him with a creepy smile.
Oh, Jesus.
He says he looks at you and then looks over and says, "Nurse." The nurses don't answer.
I'm gonna be standing behind Taro just to make sure if this dude lashes out.
Nurse.
Hi.
Paladin's gonna turn back. If you lay a finger on that.
Oh, I'll see it coming a mile away. I see everything.
I know, but I want G.I. Joe here.
I turn back and look at Paladin with a creepily confident look.
God.
I've got this, miss.
I know you do.
Turn and look at the soldier.
So you want to read his future so you can tell him something about him, essentially?
Yes. I mean, I can just make stuff up if you want.
Sure. I think that I'll give you one seed. One thing that you see is you see him going home to a woman. He's a little older than the rest. And you know that her name is Clara.
Does he have a ring? A wedding ring?
Not that you can see, no.
Hi.
Hi.
Did Clara teach you to paint?
Oh God, that's so fucking creepy. I need my creepy music. Who are you?
Me? I'm no one.
What has happened here? Do you know what's happened? How do you know Clara?
Shh. You not here.
I don't paint. What are you talking about?
Look at your fingers.
He kind of looks at them quizzically.
It's not blood. Blood would have turned brown, but you know that by now, don't you?
He looks up at Blackjack. Are you responsible for this Irish bastard?
I look up at Blackjack. I'll be fine.
Responsible's a delicate term. No,
Looks up.
not really.
Looks up with secret hero worship. Would it make you feel better if I spoke a little bit more like where you're from?
What? What do you... Nurse!
No, they ain't coming, mate.
Is there something you want from me? I am...
What's his name?
You don't know his name
Could I have
yet.
checked his chart before? Or?
Sure, yeah. He is... I'm not quite sure what the rank would be because he's the captain of the ship. But it's a small ship, so he's not like any bigwig. So his name is Captain Billiard.
First name?
It just has an initial W.
Mm. Can you tell me why you painted that on the wall?
Painted what?
Do you speak German, Captain?
A little?
Say help me.
He says help me in a German accent.
Say it in German.
I don't know how... I think it's hilf.
I lean closer
Helfen?
to him and I whisper in his ear, "Help me."
And he arches his back again. And he starts seizing.
Okay. looks at Paladin and goes, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
Damn, kid, I think you might have really done something there.
Oh God, Paladin just rushes over. What the hell did you do?
I don't appreciate your tone.
I don't appreciate yours. That's a human being.
And we want to fix him, right?
We do.
Lad's got shrapnel in his leg. You got to get it out, right?
Yeah.
It's going to hurt, right?
Yeah.
The seizure ends. The nurses come running, and you see a little bit of blood trickling down his lip where he's bit himself
Jesus.
during the seizure,
Oh God.
and he's unconscious.
It's like okay.
Right. Well, while that's going on, did anything change in his brain while that was going?
Like just like a storm. It was like a hurricane of activity.
Neurological storm.
Fun. All right,
What's
Paladin.
neurological?
Something to do with your brain, dear.
He had a brainstorm.
Not the good. Paladin just kind of goes. That was good. That was good.
The two sailors on either side are like they sit up and they look over, and one of them goes, Cap, are you okay? And goes up to him, and then looks at Taro and says, "What did you do?"
Hey, boys, calm down. Don't hurt yourselves.
Does he move to threaten me in any way?
It's a very like threatening. What's the not like he's going to hit you, but a very like aggressive stance. And I think you get a flash of something you could say that would cause him to deck you.
Upon seeing
See if
this
you can
guy
figure out what
approach
that
him, I'm gonna like step a little bit closer to Taro and just put like one hand right in the center of his back, preparing for when the guy swings to put up my protection.
Now, this guy was on the ship too, right?
Yeah, they all were.
Mm-hmm. So I look over at Ace and say, "Do you want to take a closer look this time?" Like right when it happens?
All right, so
Got your bleep bloops.
yeah.
Looking at his brainstorm.
All right, the thing is, it's okay.
And Miss Paladin, can you check on the man who I said it to already, just to make sure what happens if he's not awake to hear it?
What are you doing? And the nurses turn to Paladin and say, "Can you get your associates to leave, please? You are upsetting our patients."
Right, but it's just one more, real quick. Are you ready?
This is a medically sanctioned test, dears.
Excellent.
Yes, we're...
Help me!
Oh, did you have to shout it?
And they all start seizing when you say that. And the nurses begin to forcefully usher you out.
Looking at the nurses, just wait.
Do you resist? Do you not let, like, they're not going to stop. They're going to
I'm trying to distract them so they can get readings on whether there's a difference if the guy who's in a coma reacts, even though he's in a coma, and to get fresh readings on this happening, prepared for whatever they can get. Just gather all the data.
They're just, I believe they're just tarot. I believe. Yeah.
I think, so they're like trying to get Taro out, the nurses, but I'll resolve the electromagnetic storm in just a minute here, the brainstorm, if you will, in just a minute. I just want to know how Taro reacts as they forcefully usher you out.
As I'm being dragged, I'm the only one who did this. They did nothing. Focus all your attention on me. Miss Clara, your son is going to jump into the street. And he's gonna try to hail a cab, and that cab's gonna take him to a substandard job.
So,
children, I swear to God.
So this does give you some interesting data. All of the ones that heard it do begin to seize. The one that is like passed out again, he's fine. The captain is fine. But you notice that William seems unaffected. So he's been awake for a while. Apparently, this has passed, whatever it is, this this hurricane of the brain has passed.
Brain hurricane.
The brainacane, if you will.
Brainacane. So that could also, it could be that, but it could also be like
neurocane.
Yeah, I was gonna say like anesthetic for the brain. That neurocane makes it sound more like that.
Yeah, it does.
Cerebro typhoon.
We could think these up all day. But I think that we are going to wrap it up right there and get some happier music going on here. Because yeah.
I didn't even realize. Holy crap. I was just like, next.
We're approaching midnight Eastern.
Next. Scaremont's next.
Next session, we will hopefully uncover a little bit more about this mystery. Opti, do you do plugs? Do we want to let everybody plug their shit? Yay!
So next week we are picking back up next Sunday night after the Sea of Spears, probably a couple hours after Sea of Spears ends. We are picking back up with the season finale of the Justicars because we were having some technical issues a couple of weeks ago. And then the next Monday, so a week and a day, we are back on our variance shit. And we're gonna be season 2 of the season 2, episode 2 of the variants. So yeah, tune in. And anybody else who wants to plug whatever their stuff going on, now's the time to do it.
All right, let's start with Kevin.
Bother Catalyst Game Labs to let them know you can't wait for the upcoming Crimson audio drama.
I know I can't.
I can't either for very specific reasons.
I love a good audiobook.
Buttery is buttery smooth.
Hooray! James? Anything to plug?
I mean, I guess the Deniable Assets podcast is coming back soonish once we finish writing the last of the season.
Cool.
Woo! Deniable Assets is the bomb. So if you don't watch it, I'll find you and I'll cry in front of you, and I'm ugly when I cry. So
yeah,
please
bro,
don't make
I want a piece of that, by the way.
All right, Allison.
Hi! I've got a lot of things. Twitch. You've seen me chatting, so it's Digit Alley. I have an in-character Shadowrun podcast called Awaken. You can find us on Anchor, Spotify, and a couple other places where podcasts are sold that I can't think of right now. It's about magic, and I co-host it with Mac, who you probably all know from some other shows here. But yes, we are your magical lesbian guides to the world of magic, and we don't use big words, and that's the best part of the podcast.
Thank you. Mwah, which is awesome.
Oh, of course. I also want to plug another channel, Red Cow Creative Endeavors. We are a small, just video game content, film, anything. We just started back up. We just reworked our Patreon. So if you want to visit us at patreon.com/redcowcreative, yeah, you can see what we're all up to. We're getting into that short film game soon, so be on the lookout.
Very cool. All right, Jules.
All right, for starters, guys, if you know of any music you think from World War II that you think would be really cool to hear in the background, send us the link so we can all listen to it, because all of us are like the music. And if you can think of anything you think would be cool to hear kind of in the background, let us know.
Yeah, especially if we have to pay royalties.
Yeah, I know, but like in the mood or something like that, I am a co-host on Seize the GM. It is a every other week podcast on how to be a good GM. We cover all sorts of topics from world building to how to handle a player leaving, like if they get deployed or something like that. I'm going to be starting up my own podcast again now that I'm dealing, the crap with my knee is finally getting at least addressed. So that is 5 degrees off normal. It's how to deal being a geek and a lover of games with brain damage. So, and if anybody out there has ideas and tricks and tips on how to deal with a torn ACL pre and post surgery, please send them to me, because I could, even if it's just instead of using a bag of ice, get the frozen peas kind of thing, which somebody recommended with the Velcro, and oh my gosh, I can't thank you enough. So any little tips and tricks, so that way when I get fixed, I am back in the saddle as soon as possible. And as always, I like to plug my favorite tabletop RPG, Little Fears, which is Are You Afraid of the Dark meets Stranger Things. I recommend at least people check it out. It's not as well known as like Shadowrun or Mutants and Masterminds or D&D, but it allows you to play horror with less rules, but you can make it as spooky or as, fairy tale-ish or stuff as you like. So you can actually make it as horrible or as kind of fantasy adventure spooky as you like. So it's a nice thing, especially for people, you're trying to expose to other genres. So. And last and not least, I wanted to thank everybody here for doing and Scrim, top of everything. You ran a bloody good game.
Oh,
so everyone, press K for Scrim because she's awesome.
I should second the excellence of Little Fears. I got to play a Jules running game for a bunch of us at Gen Con, and it was so fun. I loved it. I loved that system, and you get to be a kid, and I just really captures the essence of childhood, which I was amazed by. I was amazed that a game could do that. So I also highly recommend it. But also, you should come join us tomorrow night at 9 Eastern. We are playing Cyberpunk Red with the Join the Anarchy crew. Me and Oz and Trav and Paige. It's going to be really fun. So right back here at 9 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, we will be, I don't know what we're going to be doing. We're infiltrating something. I should probably go and watch the last episode before tomorrow. But yeah, it's gonna be real fun. And of course, we'll see you all in 2 weeks, right back here for Guardian Allies. You guys are really fast at outros. I'm used to JTA, which is like a 20-minute affair.
Happen.
All right, and with that is the Guardian Allies signing off. We will see you in 2 weeks, everybody. Bye.
We love you.
We do.